Hey guys, this is Dr. Hub. Today we'll look at the structures. So the structures which pass through the passing the heart sulci. So structures which pass through the heart sulci. So first we are going to look at the diaphragmatic surface. So this is roughly the structure of the heart. So there is a posterior AV sulcus. So let's erase the heading so that it's easier to write. So there is a vessels. So this vessel will be this is the diaphragmatic surface. This is the diaphragmatic surface and this is the posterior AV sulcus. This is nothing but the posterior atrioventricular posterior atrioventricular sulcus. So that includes the coronary sinus. And then there is also the other vein which arises. This will be the small cardiac vein. This is a small cardiac vein. Then there is also now let's draw the other arteries. So under the arteries there will be a looping here. So this will be the left AV. So under the left atrioventricular sulcus, left atrioventricular sulcus. So under this right atrioventricular sulcus we have the circumflex branch of the LCA. So there is a circumflex branch and the circumflex branch will be of the LCA. And next, the branches, there is also some branches. Then there are also vein branches which are protruding. So what are these? So under the posterior AV sulcus there was a coronary sinus, and then we look at the right AV sulcus. So under the right AV sulcus what are present? So right AV sulcus. So under right AV sulcus what are present? It includes the right coronary artery. So there is a right coronary artery and the small cardiac vein. So all this is present under the right atrioventricular sulcus. Now let's see what is present in the posterior IV sulcus. So under the posterior IV interventricular sulcus, under the posterior interventricular sulcus there is a middle cardiac vein. So that is nothing but the MCV. So we can mark a vein here, that is MCV, and then there is also an posterior interventricular branch of RCA. There is also the posterior interventricular branch. There is also posterior interventricular branch, and this is of the RCA. Posterior interventricular branch of the RCA has the posterior descending artery. There is a posterior descending artery. So all this they form a part of the posterior interventricular sulcus. So we saw four headings, that is the posterior AV sulcus. So let's highlight it. We saw the posterior AV sulcus. Next we also saw the left atrioventricular sulcus, then the posterior interventricular sulcus, as well as the right AV, there is a atrioventricular sulcus. Now let's focus on the sterno surface, the sternocostal surface. So under the sternocostal surface, let's first draw the structure of the heart. So this is the rough diagram of the heart. So the vessels are present. So there is an AV interventricular sulcus. So let's draw the vessels. Okay, so there is the anterior interventricular sulcus. So anterior interventricular sulcus is anterior interventricular sulcus. So anterior interventricular sulcus, it includes the presence of the great cardiac vein. So there is a great cardiac vein, and then there is a anterior interventricular branch. Anterior interventricular branch. So there is anterior interventricular branch that includes the LCA. Left anterior descending artery.